So what's going on in the DC?
What's new?
Any new? Do y'all know anything from any insider stuff about DCSA? Do you think they're still going to, is November still the date for the retailers? You think they're going to give the retailers a little grace?
There's a lot of discussion around so many different pieces. As you know, the stakeholders in the industry are the manufacturers, the wholesalers, and the pharmacies. Frankly, as far as I'm concerned, the pharmacies have the tools or have resources to the tools to be compliant. It's the other two stakeholders, or especially the wholesalers, pushing back that there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. So there's a lot of
well, the manufacturers, there are manufacturers who don't even have the 2D barcodes and stuff today, right?
Well, that's Mark. I'll let you talk to that. I think that's done. That part is done.
Well, that was supposed to be done by 2018.
Yeah.
It's pretty much done. I just was on a call yesterday with the pharmacy that said they had some product without 2D barcodes, but that was the first I'd heard of it for a long time. But if they don't have them done, then there's a real problem. You're right, Jeff.
So when they say that the manufacturers are behind, it's not necessarily the 2D barcode. It's sending the data about that.
Right. It's getting the data in an EFTIS format, sending it down the line, being able to do product verification and product tracing. That whole package of interoperability. That's what they're behind on. They have the labels. It's just about the full electronic tracking. But everybody's in a sprint to try to get it done. But there are people who are saying, not quite.
So just give us the 90 second for somebody who might be living under a rock and just came out to watch our podcast. Huh? It was good.
There we go.
Of what is DSCSA and how is it going to affect the pharmacy?
So Drug Supply Chain Security Act is creating a secure supply chain from the manufacturer to the dispenser to increase patient safety, keep bad drugs out of the supply chain, keep harmful drugs out of the supply chain. And it's basically tracking that product so you can verify that not only the trading partner is who they say they are, but the drug is what it says it is. So you're removing any possibility of harm for the patients. Some people ask whether it's really needed, whether dispensers have to participate. But the last big counterfeit event that was in the papers, that Gilead event, that a lot of drug got into the supply chain that was counterfeit. It went through a secondary, and it was caught by a dispenser. A dispenser caught that drug.
How did they catch it?
Counterfeit. Well, they had a patient who talked about their reaction to the drug. They looked at the data they had, and then they said, we think there's a problem with this drug. And they caught that there was a huge amount of product in the supply chain that was dangerous to their patients.
So not only was it counterfeit, but it was not the right drug. It wasn't.
Right. It was a counterfeit. Yes,
but it was bad counterfeit. It wasn't accurate counterfeit. It was a counterfeit, and it wasn't the actual drug.
Exactly.
Right.
The other red flag that kicked in was the actual price. It was extremely lower than the regular price, so that raised red flags as well.
Right.
Right, exactly. So, and that brings up an important point that dispensers are really the firewall for the Drug Supply Chain Security Act. If the dispensers aren't there active, then you're not going to catch counterfeit drugs. And the dispensers and the pharmacists, they're the ones with the experience, the judgment to catch these things. They're really protecting patients' safety with this law. And they're key to it all working well, quite frankly.